Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better for you. This is actually going to be a clip from one of my live streams. If you want a link to my Twitch channel to see me playing any of this live, or a link to the main channel, both will be in the description down below. If you enjoy the video, a like and subscribe is always appreciated, and let's get into it. So I was thinking defense spending for the tech, the Treasures of the Deep for, well, deep, to be a sea monster, and then I was potentially just going to go for Beast Within to give a lot of our units the 1/1 and Overwhelm. I don't necessarily think there's any other ones that give us a different subtype that we don't have, right? Because like this one doesn't make you a dragon at all. Also, dragon's something we get pretty easily, whereas sea monster and tech is a little bit more rare. Yeah, I guess we could search Fury. So it's like, we could get it from this, but that won't really matter for Neeko. Like, technically, we could play her as a 0 cost, and she would be able to get this. But I mean, Fury is one that we actually get from a couple of our units, so it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, we get it on our support champions. What are we cooking today? A interesting Neeko build that's probably not going to be that good, but I think it's pretty funny. I'm doing all right, Rivy. Hope you're having a good morning. So yeah, the defense spending, Nexus having tough is nice, but I'm tech. That's a keyword that can be, or subtype that can be pretty difficult for us to get. We have to normally draw into it through shops or things like that. Deep and I'm a sea monster. Again, this one's actually normally more difficult to get than the tech, because normally you do see some of the turrets around. So 2 subtypes that are relatively difficult, and then Beast Within to give all of our units that Overwhelm, and then also making sure everyone has an additional 1/1, since everyone's getting a subtype. If a card doesn't get it, they get the Shapeshifter one. So that is kind of the play. I don't think this one is going to be great in any regard, really, but we'll go ahead and try it out. I don't even know if I want to take this into like a 5-star. I feel like both Swain or Lysandra would just completely shut it down. Like the Swain one, we do have the Nexus having tough, so it's not terrible. I'm not actually really bad at deck building. Went 1-7 with a brew of mine before deciding to stop trying to use it. Different game on the Runeterra. I mean, deck building can be pretty difficult. It takes a while to get good at it. It's not like I'm great at it either, but I just know from the time you start, there's a lot of playtesting you need to do and figuring out how you actually want to make it. It's, yeah, pretty intense. Stacking subtypes on Neeko is probably only useful for her 6-star, other than leveling up. The main thing is leveling her up, so that now when you attack, you're granting all your units everywhere that 1/1. Her level up is really strong, so that can be solid. Do Aurelian? I was thinking about it. What actually... When allies attack, deal 1 for all enemies in the internet nexus. Increase by 1. Yeah, so... It is good for leveling her up, and then if you had her at 6 stars, this actually could be okay. Sure. We haven't done Aurelian Soul in a while. We can go ahead and try it out. I also really like deck building to be added. I like being locked like that. Okay. That one space was slightly bestling me. Lever 6-star steamrolled Lysandra. Nice. Glad people are enjoying it. Summon a sparring student. That wouldn't really... Like, only thing is in our deck, get these subtypes. For each ally in your deck. Yeah, so this would just be a unit on the board, which isn't really great. Member game, shield, feral senses. Again, none of those are really standing out as something that's going to be super helpful for us. I think let's reroll one more time. Allies have faded. We don't really target our own units very much. Like, the only thing is this one, which I often say wrong. Okay, 2 armed gearheads. Also, they don't have anything. Fantastic. I thought they'd have a subtype, but I guess they're not tech. I think let's go for Mountain's Peak. It can sometimes high roll. Let's go for Gangplank. Oh, the Lurk Power could be fun. Yeah. 6-star Neeko with Drake Hounds. Interesting. Making me toast a hard time constantly. It's fine. I think we'll get rid of this. We could high roll and get it to be our thing that hits 0, but we still want to have generally cheap cards. We don't want to necessarily just count on getting high rolled. Hey, look, we're deep already. Hooray. We could play Neeko already. So we have Spider and Cat. Sure, let's try to drop this. Bird, Reptile. We're actually not going to get the shapeshifter subtype from anyone here, so I think we'll actually just keep her as is. Alright, they're out of mana. Oh, this thing actually wasn't 0 cost. Sure, let's go ahead and... Actually, by doing this again, we're going to toss more. So we actually probably don't want to do that. And it looks like we're going to be 1 away from being able to level up. Actually, if we do it with this guy right here, we'll be able to get... it's a 0 cost because of our 1 effect. Well, rip. So we also didn't get him attacking alongside us.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
We might actually get milled to death. Sure, let's try to kill this for the subtype. And then we're just going to open attack and end the game. Hopefully. Alright, GG. Marvel Snap was trying to silly deck with the newest card. It just didn't come together ever. I actually had a good time with Marvel Snap. That was something that my wife and I would play against each other, and it was pretty fun for a couple weeks. So the Messenger isn't bad, because it is a Celestial. And Doggle. The dog is really easy for us. Frostbite an enemy and all enemies with 3 or less health. Draw 1. Also does have champion draw, so that's not the worst. Sure. Yeah, the one issue with Marvel Snap, which, I mean, for most people it's not an issue, but it's just that it is a PvP only game. It's not bad to play, but that is something to be aware of. Ascended and Bird. We do have Bird, but it is pretty expensive. So him having Ascended, Bird, and Fury is actually pretty good. We can, yeah, get that. That won't be too bad. Let's go for the shop. Both of these look very frustrating, but I think we'll go for Jin. From what I've heard also is Marvel Snap is kind of pay to win. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've been hearing around. I think let's get rid of Crystal Arrow. We know we're going to draw our Neeko because of our Azir.
What good's power if you're not going to use it?
Sure, let's drop her first. Faye is going to be a little bit harder to get. So sure, let's drop this one right here. And we can drop a Azir. I think we will play this since it's free. We can kill their target. All right, we should have more than enough. Yes, so we will be able to get through. Sure, let's try to drop this. I'm a little bit... Yeah.
I bestow the desert's power to the faithful.
Yeah, I'll play this one right here to get another unit before it gets stunned.
Embrace your fate as I have mine.
All right, that'll be a nice amount of damage. And this is really what we're trying to get in our first attack, a level up. Oh man.
Better than that.
Just got here. What's the build? So it is Neeko with the Heimerdinger Relic for the tough, or not the tough, the tech. The Nautilus one for the deep and sea monster, and then Beast Within.
What we do is so much bigger than us. both.
Sure. Let's drop this one right here.
You taught me to command the sands.
I bestow the desert's power to the faithful.
All right, nice. And then this attack should just be able to end. GG. So yeah, not necessarily great. It'd probably be fine if we did have the 6-star, since the 6-star is even more based on subtypes. But it's a good way to try to get leveled up fast. This is unironically really fun looking. I'm glad. Reptile, sure, it's relatively cheap. Subtype we don't get a ton of. Alright, shop. No subtypes here at all. Game start, draw 2. It's fine. We don't have a lot of rerolls. We only have 2. So, yeah, we'll grab that. Sure. The spell shield can be pretty good. Let's go for Zoe with, again, unyielding. Some of those runs, they just all have unyielding. I hate. Pay to win, not really. Pay to acquire, absolutely. Which is like the exact opposite of their sales pitch. The card acquisition system is so bad that whales can just buy a bunch of expensive bundles, get everything all the time, while free-to-play players have to skip like 2 or 3 cards a season in order to try pulling for what they want. Yeah, and from what I heard, that's what people meant by pay to win. The fact that all the new cards, you have to pay to like get them all right away. So if you don't have that, you can't play with all the new stuff. And so ranked is a lot harder for you. But yeah, I get how you're not directly paying for power, because yeah, it's something where a free-to-play player can earn. But again, it is a lot. Anything that is somewhat pay to win or pay to acquire is worse when it's a PvP only game. So it's a little bit worse. It's bad. They say they're looking into changing it, so that's good at least. But I have no clue what they'll be when the time will come. Yeah. Does Kane need a 6-star constellation? I think Kane is solid, but I definitely look forward to him getting a constellation. Let's get rid of the bird. And let's get rid of Sandcrafter. It's not bad, but we'd really like to get our Azir. Yeah, Kane having a constellation I think will be a lot of fun. I don't think it's necessarily required. I think we'll still open with Neeko just to see what we're going to get. Fae, dog, spider. So we do have dogs. We shouldn't do that. We're going to get a cat. Actually, we're not because of Azir. I think we'll go for the Fae, although we're not really getting Shapeshifter at all. But normally Fae's a little bit harder for us. Actually, yeah, the cat's free, so yeah, let's look at that. Do we want to kill her? Yeah, I'll have elusive so that unit won't be able to block us. Sure. Alright, so we're through the first health bar. Let's kill her there. Yeah. Alright, let's go for bird.
Of course, he'd pick the highest.
And Poro. Yeah, if you can actually build around getting her leveled turn 1, it's actually not terrible, because her level up condition is pretty strong. Before going into the sponsor stream, what do you think will be the rogue event? I mean, someone said, not Otacon, Akshan, because he's like the rogue sentinel. I think that's possible. So I don't know if they just mean like they'll have him and then another like rogue-ish character, which I'm not sure who the other one would be necessarily, but maybe they mean that. Because I mean, we're already trying to play a rogue-like game, so it's like everything is kind of Should have that rogue element to it. Akshan really needs a 6-star. I mean, he just needs to be added to the game. The one perfect fit is not going to appear is Katarina. I think that's possible. She definitely hits a lot of the same elements of rogue sort of character. You definitely can win without the most meta cards. That's an expression of player skill, but don't expect to be too far from the top of Infinite without being a card game god, because most meta cards decks are cut above the rest. There's not really a bad card, they're just worse cards. Plenty of times a single point of power knocked off a card has pushed it out of meta. I mean, yeah, that happens. Are we playing Neeko today? Yes, she's at 5 stars. Akshan is not in Path of Champions yet. Grant allied sand soldiers everywhere, 1/1, summon 2 of them. Cheaper bird. I think we'll go for the bird. Yeah, we'll give her spell shield and get another copy of her, but Azir is pretty great. We'll try to go for the shop, see if we can get something solid here. Not really see anything. It doesn't have a subtype, that sucks. And it's also not really gonna get a subtype because, again, it's not in our deck. That's unfortunate. I think we'll reroll one time, sure, just in case things go horribly wrong. Let's go for Karma.
Always trust your spirit.
I would guess adding Akshan, Kennen, maybe Kayn, LeBlanc. I wouldn't really think LeBlanc would count for Rogue necessarily. But I mean, who knows? Having double Neeko means we're highly likely to get our Azir. Of course, the odds were not quite in our favor. Alright, so we can again have Fae, Spider, Dog. We can potentially get Shapeshifter right there, so let's, I think, go for the Fae again.
Heart and mind as one.
Let's actually potentially go there. Let's drop the Dune Keeper. So this will give us our Azir.
Shurima, your emperor has returned.
And let's go for Cat. Alright, so this is going to level us. Azir could potentially die. Well, I guess let's drag this aside. Sorry, Cat. And yeah, let's try to attack like this.
Your emperor commands.
You messed with the wrong Neeko.
Glorious sacrifice.
Alright, pretty solid damage. We're going to be playing this silly, goofy Hoyo game. Sure, let's put this right here. That is a lot of recalls. We are going to be... Let's try again. And they won't be able to stop this one because we're maxing out the stack. Yeah, it's a game I've been interested in trying for a while, so it should be fun.
Addition.
Let's drop this as a blocker.
Take a stance and hold it.
And sure, we can go for the Sorin.
Do not question our resolve.
All right, let's have that one go there. Can't quite block that one.
Faithless creature.
Alrighty.
Tell the people what you have seen today.
Some take a path, others a foe.
All right. Hopefully they aren't able to do enough blockers, and we can end right here. Yep, GG.
Take time
Okay,
to care for others.
not too bad. Yeah, Karma with the duplicate power isn't great. any guesses or hopes for the champs next patch? So we know we're getting Demacia as well as Targon. I wouldn't... Actually, I don't know if they said they're getting one new and one that's not new. I actually didn't pay attention if they said that. I'm kind of still leaning towards Galio. Just because they weren't able to get him in the event, I kind of feel like they might add him in. And then if it's a champion that is already in the game, then obviously it seems like it's going to be Diana or Leona. If it's one that's not, I'm still kind of also leaning towards the Malphite, but yeah, we'll see. One of the things the most would be Galio. That's who I would like. You have tough, you don't have to block the blades. That's true. If they add Akshan or any other landmark champion, they need to make sure he doesn't have board space issues. Yes, that's a problem for a lot of people. The dev video talked about a lot about Pi. Yes. Pi starts with letter P, so that means Poppy and Pantheon could be added. I'd go for Garen and Tarek, since they used to be friends in lore. Malphite and Galio would be perfect. Yeah, that's who I would kind of like. I'm sitting in a Demacia Crystal for Galio. Want him so bad. Let's see. Vampiric Scepter, Excavator's Charge. I think we'll maybe go for Excavator's Charge for the Azir, although Hardy Rations could also be good because he'd be a solid blocker. But any amount of increasing damage for double attack is super good. And we kind of want a balance of both of them, because we want to play both of them round one. Our board is too full. We don't make a lot of created cards. Yeah, that's not really great. Thrice Bound. I mean, potentially the chains would be able to get cost reduced down. So there's maybe that. Yeah, so we could get this to try to high roll. But let's try reroll. Sure. Well, this actually could buff up his ear. Okay. Sure. We can cut a card, so let's go for Tom Kench. Sadly, the Titanic event ends. We must wait more Galio and Malphite. Galio could be a really interesting champ. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with him, because I think he could be a lot of fun, and I wonder if they'll give him another relic, and so he kind of maybe have two since he already has one. I mean, Shyvana would be cool too. Let's get rid of both of these. While they're not bad, we really want to get our Azir if possible. All right, fantastic. All right, so he has enough for his acquired taste. Let's... Actually, we don't want to play that first. She has Spell Shield. Yeah, so we can drop Neeko. Fae, Dog, Shapeshifter. Let's go for Fae, since we're going to have the Doomkeeper. That'll be the Shapeshifter.
I'll be happy to accommodate.
Ripperino. Let's drop that one there.
Carry it with you.
Yeah, should have saved a little bit for our Wallop.
I don't require
Oh well.
a menu.
Cat, Reptile, Fae. Yeah, let's go for the Fae again.
If it ain't the eyes of the operation.
Suppose that makes you the guts, eh, big fella?
Let's play this first to block him. Then let's go for the Tri-Tail. And then we can attack like this. And GG. Alright, easy. Who do you think will be the brand new champion they'll introduce? I have no idea. Personally, Demacia, I think Garen would be the choice. Upgrading Garen wouldn't be bad. I mean, what other options do they really have? I guess they have normal Lux they could upgrade, but yeah, I would lean towards Garen over that as well for the existing roster. Most of the other Demacia ones are actually already there. I wonder if they'll add more free-to-play Epic Relics. They really need to. I'm really hoping they do, because yeah, we could use some more. That's what I'm waiting for my tier list, my next tier list on. Who is better, Elder Dragon or Aatrox for beating Fiddlesticks? I would go for Elder Dragon personally. I think I prefer Elder Dragon actually out of those two. New champ Melrite. Yes, yeah, that's a good call. That's most likely who the new champion is going to be, because I mean, they already did most of the work on her. Yeah, the new champion is most likely going to be Mel. Assumingly, everyone will get 2 relics eventually, right? The more relics they add, the more people get relics for them. They also come with paid relics, like the image for Beast Within is the Udyr card. But he'd come with his own paid relic too. Potentially. But I mean, some relics also... They don't have to be necessarily based on a champion. So it's not like every champion will necessarily get 2 of them. Because like, Chemtech Duplicator isn't necessarily based on any champion. Like, it's from Zon, so it's like kind of with Echo, but not necessarily. Cat... I guess we'll go here, but pretty much unless we high roll it, we're not really going to play it, which is a little sad. Let's go ahead and cut a card. Do we want to cut the bird? Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty hard, and we have a cheaper bird already. Let's go for a Poppy. Poppy's actually one I really hope would get added. I think Poppy could be really interesting. Actually, Mel was about to be released in the past December alongside Victor, but it was supposed to be postponed. Yeah, so she should be the most likely, since presumably all the work for her is done, other than like the voice lines and all that sort of thing. Let's get rid of these 2. A little bit too expensive for us, but we love having Azir and Neeko. That is fantastic. Oh, it actually got hit with the 0 cost reduction. Oof, that is rough. Cat, Dog, Faye. Yeah, we're going to get Shapeshifter from something else, so we'll again go for Faye. We're going to try to save the Wallop to... Actually, we're going to stun her right away. We don't want her attacking. So we'll just drop Azir next round. Yeah, we'll drop him here. Next round, we'll play our Azir. Sure, although this will potentially also count for our cost reduction. Alright, so we'll level up. Our Azir does have double attack. They'll be able to block, so we probably won't end, but this still should be a pretty solid attack. Oh look, we actually had enough. GG. Nice. I'd love to see Azir or Hecarim and use the other support champ like they do in PvP when I played LOR back in the day. Azir and Hecarim are 2 that, yeah, I'm really enjoying or really looking out for, excited for. 2 more copies of Neeko is good. Mecha Yordle's not bad. If this was like anything other than Neeko, I would actually probably go right here. That's really good. But yeah. Actually, that's another one, Rumble. That's another one we know that they were working on. Let's go for shop here. I guess that's one thing. It wouldn't be bad to go look at the old screenshot of all the champions they showed and see what one were Demacia or Targon to see who they might be bringing. Cat, not bad. We already have this. Let's leave and see. There is another shop there. So yeah, I think we'll avoid getting this power. While it's not bad, we already are getting the Yordle on the board, and our board is filling up pretty fast. Both of these actually look awful. Yordle could give us a Mecha Yordle. Honestly, we're not really struggling with leveling up at the moment, so I don't necessarily want to add more to our deck. Katarina or Ezreal, I don't like either of them. I think we'll try to go for Katarina.
Ready for trouble?
Yeah, the cat could have been okay, but I mean, we're already getting cat relatively easily. Let's get rid of these 3. If you squint hard enough, you can see that Udyr is Demacian.
Need a second.
All right, they start with the attack token. They're going to be able to drop their Katarina. We didn't get our stun card, so that's a little sad. Dog, spider, spider. We don't really have any spiders. So, sure. Let's actually go for the house spider so we get another unit that can be a blocker. And then... yeah, let's go ahead and drop our Azir.
See what will be.
Interesting. So even though they could... huh. Weird. So we could attack already. And they only have 1 unit to block. So sure.
Your emperor commands.
Alright, not bad. Sylas is on the top of the champs. I really hate. I mean, Sylas could be pretty fun in Path of Champions, though. Although he's all about stealing people's alts. I wonder if he'd kind of have a plunder mechanic similar to what some of the, like the pickpocket has, where when you attack the enemy, you like steal some of their cards, some of their spells. Like maybe something like that. Getting this could be pretty good. Yeah, getting this in our opening turn. Alright, we get something solid here. Sure, deep cuts can give us some good damage. That'll actually be solid. We're normally attacking with a lot of units. So 5 cost reptile. Yeah, we don't really need the Sandcrafter. For one, it doesn't have a subtype. And this can give us our like shape shifter easier. Sure, let's get rid of that. And let's go for Darius.
Every army needs a general.
Sylas, Yone, Amumu. All coming someday. Looking at the last PvP expansion cards. That is true. Yeah, they did add... like, Sylas is in one of the curses. That is true, yeah. He would probably have a be themed around suppression, that curse, which is a lot of fun. That makes the enemy not be able to play spells. I don't remember anything for Amumu, but I remember that, yeah, Yone, he's like a stun card that you rarely see, but it's technically there. Let's get rid of this one, and this can be okay for right now. Pilfer, where you draw the top card of the enemy deck. One of the case of things, they draw your deck. Troll Scavenger. Troll Scavenger is so annoying. So they have the attack token. They don't have challenge or anything. Let's... maybe open with Azir.
See what will be.
Perhaps that'll keep them from blocking. Or this unit right here. Or attacking, that is.
Carry it with you. Emperor, I am honored.
I think let's actually block with this guy, since he'll give us a little bit of cost reduction.
Stand down.
Alright, let's go for our Neeko. Probably going to go for Faye again, because that's one we don't really have.
Rise with the surf.
Oh, I guess, yeah, Bird is Azir. I was like, how do we have Bird again?
Greater things await.
So yeah, we could attack like this. They do have stun, so honestly, waiting's not the best. Yeah, stunning her, I think this will be probably enough to end.
Neeko goes up, scholars come down.
Alright, GG. Nice. The green curse is a Mumu theme, since the curse of the sad mummy and the art is a mummy. Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't really put that together before. I think we'll go for Azir with Consuming Wrath. Although actually that doesn't matter, because normally he's getting buffed up by his health anyways, so that actually is not going to help us that much. Vampiric Scepter, normally we're playing them for free. We could use this for Neeko to buff up her attack, I suppose. Give us a little bit more damage. Normally we kind of have 20 units. And we don't have any rerolls left. Treacherous Terrain, Lion Weights. This would give us the Lurker subtype, so sure, that'll be solid. I don't really want to deal with Yasuo, but we will. We want to get the Epic Shop.
My destination. I'll tell you when I get there.
Oh, goodness. Let's get rid of a couple of these. They're not bad, but we want to get our double champion if we can. All right, little sad. Anyone we play has a high likelihood of getting stunned immediately. So the Shapeshifter, I guess now since there may be a Lurker, they didn't get the Shapeshifter subtype. Which means we might actually need to play Neeko for it. She does have a spell shield. So sure, let's drop her here. Yeah, these have Lurkers, so they no longer have the subtype of Shapeshifter. That's not necessarily the best for us. Alright, that'll give us Spider. Let's go ahead and stun him to get Poro. And then, yeah, this will level us, get some good damage down. They don't have enough mana to stun us. Although they could be the thing that got cost reduced. Alright, not too bad. We just have to kind of wait out this round and they're going to die. So... this is actually fine. We just hold off, block, and they're going to die at the end of the round. Alright, she can't block that one. That's fine. Alright. GG. Ancient Malediction. Yeah, it's just a sarcophagus, right? That doesn't actually necessarily show that it's a Mumu. What's my destination? I'll tell you when I get there. Yasuo's a brooding man done right, I feel like. Not too boring or cringe, and has a good character design as well. Yeah, they do it in a pretty good way. Here, sure, let's get the Fury Horn Crasher, because we don't have any Mecha Yordles, really. Let's see here. Power Riff is okay. Alright, Round Start Rally, that is nice. I feel like the region doesn't really matter. This one could be okay, but I think we're fine. Let's go for Lee Sin.
Your will by hands.
I can swear I can see a card a trillion times over and never notice what's on it. Let's get rid of the Wild Claw. End this since we know we're going to draw it. This is fine. Yeah, Yone and Sylas do fully appear. I feel like one of these got cost reduced down. I wasn't necessarily paying attention to see which one. Alright, we're going to try to go with this one. We're still going to go for the Shapeshifter, since I don't think we're going to get that subtype on our other units now. So yeah, this one was the one that got cost reduced. Let's go for Spider.
Fight with my spirit, not my fists.
Our enemies would be foolish.
Yeah, let's go for another Neeko, because both of them can get their attack effect off. Let's stun him to get a Poro, and take out a blocker. And then this should be a good amount of damage. Alright, so 29, and then from the Ichor, they'll just die. Perfect. It's either a Mumu or a Rammus. Sylas would be cool as a spell shield concept in Demacia. You could add suppression to the enemy hand every round and have a mechanic of hijacking the enemy power. You get nav from the enemy from round or a way to lose it, get it back. Yeah, Sylas is definitely one that they could be very imaginative with, and I think that could be pretty fun. This is nice because it's free, but I think we'll go for the Crystal Arrow for some more champion draw. Let's go for Tridimir.
My blade thirsts.
What if he has permanent Black Shield as his 2-star? I mean, that seems a little bit too busted. I kind of doubt they're going to give anyone just permanent Black Shield all the time. Let's get rid of this one and the bird. Mecha Yordle is okay. Having a Crystal Arrow is not bad. Yeah, we'll try to open here.
Neeko is making her own tribe now.
So we could go for the Crystal Arrow, which it did get the cost reduction. So that's not too bad. Still didn't draw him. A little sad. I think let's drop this here. And we'll play this just to play it, even though it's not really going to give us a subtype. Are we going to have enough? Yes, we will. All right.
Neeko is Neeko. You messed with the wrong Neeko.
All right, once again, we just have to wait out 2 rounds, and then... Actually, never mind. We have Rally. Yeah, we are fine. Let's throw down another Neeko. That way we can just immediately attack as soon as this is over. Oh, they actually... Oh, my word, they killed themselves. He should also be beefy and relatively expensive with a payoff for entering play. I think a 4 cost roughly is kind of where I'd think Sylas to be. Toy that is so butchered. Also comment being imaginative with him. There's something they mentioned. They said they'd only be bringing new champs to path, not PvP. Let's just do things like interact with the player's gold and other fun mechanics. Don't just work with normal Legends of Runeterra, something along those lines. Yes, we haven't really seen that yet, but it was, they did allude to the fact of mentioning or messing with mechanics that aren't in PvP. But yeah, we haven't really seen that yet. We'll go for a Wallop. They could maybe do something where, for like Akshan, who's kind of a, not really a mercenary, but sort of like Robin Hood, he is trying to get gold and stuff from people. They could give him a mechanic that is more focused on your gold and have some interactions with that. Like maybe having a power that at different tiers of like how much gold you have, it activates. So if like you have 200 gold, it gives you like Overwhelm. If you have like 400 gold, it gives you Overwhelm and 1/1. Or something along those lines that as you're getting more gold, it's powering up. Now, I do think they want to probably be a little bit careful of doing things that mess with gold, because they still want you to go to the shop and get a power. They don't really want you to necessarily just hoard and never like invalidate all shops. So they could maybe pair it with like the more gold you get, the stronger you are, but maybe he has a higher percentage of finding good things in the shop, so it's trying to pull you more towards spending your gold to get really good upgrades, but also knowing that by getting those upgrades, you might be reducing down some other powers. I don't know. There's some things like that that you could do. Let's go for Aurelion Soul.
Naturally.
Make his 6-star game start, steal a random enemy power. That would be actually really funny. Making everyone feel how dyslexia feels to toast. I mean, maybe. Let's get rid of the Glacial Sorin, but this is actually a pretty good opening hand. We do not get the attack token, though.
Hello, Runeterra. Let's rock.
That's a little scary. Like, we have to block that, which is really bad for us. We could actually open up... Actually, yeah, she can't actually block. Can we cancel this? Whatever. Sure. Let's go for this one. Oh, yeah, it still just has the camp block. Yeah, we'll go right there.
Shurima never fell. It only awaited my return.
So they will be able to block this, but let's try to attack and get as much damage down as possible. But yeah, double Aurelion Soul turn 1 is a bit rough.
Keep your distance.
That's not the best. I'm a little bit worried about playing him first thing. Maybe drop this here. I mean, we could actually get rid of that one, or we just get another Neeko, which is probably better. Because they both give us more scaling. We'll try to drop our Azir. Hopefully they don't have anything to stop him.
How can Neeko see future time if there is only now time?
Alright, so good scaling. One of them down, and then the Icar should just be able to end the game. Alright, a little scary, but GG. Literally anything can be done to Akshan. Yeah. How to get Acel turn 1? Not 100% sure. That was, yeah, a little scary, but that was a fairly fun build. If you can get like the right support champions or right opening hand to consistently level her turn 1, it's actually pretty solid. And I think if you ever at 6 stars where that damage is able to scale off of subtypes, this could actually be pretty viable. I think at 5 stars it's kind of just fine, but I feel like most builds for Neeko are kind of fine. So it's actually not terrible and kind of fun. Thank you for watching that video, especially all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.